It's about damn time. Good news, everyone! The broken PS2 Chronicles is finally over. Just in time too, so I can finally go on to the retrospective of the Dynasty Warriors series. And we're tackling the 5th entry spin-off, actually, which is Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires. And needless to say, if you're playing the classic Xbox for 5, well, you are SOL because Xbox Classic got discontinued for the 360, and the PS2, 360, and also PC is the only way to get this game. Needless to say, this game has a lot of memories and hold a lot of dear moments into my heart. This is the heart of my channel, believe it or not, and would have actually brought it to great heights had it not been for the fucking Paul brothers. But whatever the case, folks, this is probably one of my favorite Empires games in the series, and it has its pros as well as its cons. And obviously I'm going to get the cons before the pros, but one thing is perfectly clear. This would have been the staple of every Empires games had the other Empires game did not exist. So without further ado, it's time for Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires. So with that said, let's go! Well, due to the Xbox being discontinued, exclusivity definitely harms anybody with the original Xbox, because all you're going to get is Dynasty Warriors 5. Meanwhile, Xbox 360 will have to go the hard way of using the original characters to get their weapons. Everyone else can just get the ultimate weapons with edit characters and simply transport the edit characters here. And what good is that going to do? Real simple. What it's doing now. Filling out gallery space. No, seriously. All the weapons, all the items, everything that you have unlocked from Dynasty Warriors 5 or 5 Extreme Legends is only going to show up here in the gallery. And you want to know what the messed up part about this is? You could just do this by simply unlocking your blacksmiths completely, getting 1,000 KOs with whatever officer you're using, and you get your weapon just like that. And more importantly, all these weapons here, all you have to do is just use policies to not only develop them, but level up some of the ones that need to be leveled. Going through Extreme Legends doesn't really account for anything except for filling up the gallery and one other thing, and that is to bring your officer into free mode. That's it. And if they're already maxed out, well, good for you. That's less trouble you'll have to worry about. Because, see, here's the thing. Free mode doesn't really give you the dim sum and Musa wine that normally you would get from Empires. You don't have to find it, thankfully, but you'll end up getting it at the end of every battle. But there's no point in bringing that here because guess what? Besides this, the RNG is bad too. Because it's RNG if whether you get those or not, and it's RNG of whether something bad happens to your force, like plagues and tornadoes and floods, or it's RNG to get whatever sort of policy that shows up in your consult, and you have to get this once in order for you to use it again later on. While the RNG isn't bad, it's still terrible in that regard. One last thing though, well, two last things, one of which is the fact that the officers, no matter how badly you beat them up, no matter what difficulty they're in, they will run and go straight to the base and then lure you into a trap. Meanwhile, it unfortunately has no consequence of you being an evil ruler besides peasants showing up. Okay, maybe the peasants being hard is one thing, but here's the thing. you're gonna get a lot of money being evil as opposed to being good, and there's no consequence to it. No defense drop or nothing. You're just gonna be absolutely loaded. And with that said, now we can go on to the pros. Well, this game is a pioneer for the create a character modes in the later Dynasty Warriors games. It gives you more options in Dynasty Warriors 4, and I know it may seem bare bones compared to later versions, but this is the pioneer, the true pioneer, because it gives you much to work with, for both male and for both female. Granted, they don't have the sword, spear, or pike in this game, but you can just get Cao Cao, Xiao Yun, and Lu Meng all the same. They tried to do that to stop the clone weapons, and that's one thing I can appreciate them doing, trying to mitigate the clone weapons in this game. At least you can make the body size of the game, like making them either skinny and tall, or short and big. It doesn't matter how you do it, and it also doesn't matter what hairstyle and face style you choose. It all depends on what you want your character to be and what you want your character to be named as. Because this is the precursor to better creative character slots. And some of these armors actually make a return in later games. Because that's how good this game really is with its customization. And also some of the facial features return as well. So if you want to know where most of these armors and outfits came from, thank this game. That's all I gotta say on that. And there's a good thing. With whatever weapons you do have, one thing is perfectly clear. You don't have to worry about level 4 or going through great lengths to get them. Simply just beat 1,000 people in Empires mode on any stage after you max out your blacksmiths to level 4, and you'll get the level 4 weapon no problem with every character. And that's exactly what I did, by the way, before that playthrough of Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires. You only have 3 voices, but at least they're better voices because the new voice actors have taken over, and it actually sounds a lot better than what the original voice actors did. And this was, by the way, the start of Omega Forces coming into actual play. Now then, you have more options to worry about besides Consult. While Consult has RNG, once you consult, all you gotta do is assign and just simply pick a policy and give it some thought to what you want to pick. But all you have to do is just pick a policy and go with it, or delegate 5 policies to somebody else. The base system is a lot different now. Instead of just beating up everybody in the base, you just get 5 guard captains, or how many guard captains there are, and an officer, which will count as 2 people, and just simply beat them up. Also, those numbers on the side of the morale bar means one thing: the many times that the officers can come back. Once they're down to 0, all those officers will be captured. Plain and simple. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that is a lot better than most, well actually, the game prior to this. Because at least there's a sign of saying that the character is going to be captured, because all the characters that are bound for capture will have a ring of stars around them. That will include you too if you come in with no troops. So yeah, you can actually tell whether or not the officers will be captured. And speaking of which, there are tactics that you can use within battle that can turn the tide of the battle. Either burning down an entire army, or capturing officers, or more importantly, blocking their reinforcements. On top of the fact that there are other things that you can do. Like for instance, being a good guy and becoming the emperor and letting the people choose you for an emperor. Or being evil and usurping the throne. Whatever you do, it's up to you. In fact, the music will also accompany all of your escapades. And it's a collaboration between the previous 5 games. Yes, including Dynasty Warriors 1. But all in all, the combos may be stuck to the weapons, but at least you'll get the weapons no problem, as well as the items. And it doesn't matter what difficulty you play, because the game is hard on its own right. Whether it's the first time or the 7th time, the game will give you problems because of the fact that it is from one of the most difficult games in the series. So yeah, you're going to run into enemies that's going to kick your ass, and you are definitely going to run into enemies that will come in inspired. So bear that in mind. However, the only thing that I should address to you when it comes down to this game, you only have a limited amount of time, and by limited I mean until the year 2000, in order for you to beat the game. That's more than enough time to literally conquer every single territory in China. So you can rush and win, or take your time and win. It doesn't matter. What you do is up to you. And while it doesn't have too much freedom, there's a lot more creative freedom in this game, and a lot more freedom in general than what there is. Oh, by the way, there are some event battles in this game. Nanmins, Yellow Turbans, Yiling, Chirbi, Alliance Against Dongsua, and Guandu. All of those battles are there. And that's about 6 battles and enough encouragement for you to keep playing the games and the scenarios over and over again. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, as I am glad that I played this footage for you once more, it is time for us to go to the rating. And with the pros and cons compiled, it is now time to rate this game. After 9 episodes of hits and misses, we finally got one that has made it to the top of the hill. Was there ever any doubt? This is a game you could just simply buy, pick up, pop it into your PS2 or Xbox 360, and just simply play. That's all you have to do, is play the game and get everything you need and everything you want from this game alone. You don't even need to go past the series. Although 8 gives you more creative freedom, this game actually works as soon as you put it in the damn console. So with that said, this is the one game Koei did right. What happened with the other ones after it? That's questions for later, but for right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this review and say that this is one of the better games in the series, but the next episode is a game that has eluded me for quite some time. This is RVMan985. Take care, and thanks for watching my review.